Okay, folks. So I'm just curious as to what y'all think about this whole business about mining rare resources and helium-3 on the moon. Whether you believe that it's an actual physical object or it's just a plasma or some kind of hologram or projection, I think that we should all call them out on it. I mean, when I look at it, sometimes I see what looks like could be just a projection or a hologram because sometimes it looks translucent. But sometimes when I look at it, it looks like it could be a physical object. And I think if it is a physical object, it's not 238,000 miles away. I think it's well within our atmosphere if it's an actual object. But, I have to question that because sometimes it does just look like a projection. But, with all of that being set aside, there's still, there are companies and these agencies and these groups that are moving forward and raising up funds. NASA's one of them. NASA is desperately trying to mine the moon before China gets there. The race is on. And this was published last year. And then this other one here, Earth is running out of helium. A treasure on the moon could be our saving grace. As terrestrial supplies dwindle, a startup aims to dig deep into lunar soil. And this was just back in March of this year, where this particular agency, I think it's Interloon, has already raised almost $20 million or something or another to be able to go up there and mine resources on our moon. I mean, really, seriously, I think we should call them out on them. I think we should call them out on the bluff. It's like, help solve some of the crisis that we have going on down here at ground level on Earth already before you go investing millions of dollars into these projects and destroy our moon. I mean, this belongs to everyone, right? This is everybody's moon and habits, excuse me, our planet, okay? This belongs to everyone. I think everyone should have a say in whether or not we want them going up there doing things to it. I think we should call them out on their bluff and start a global petition to cease and desist all plans to mine the moon. Hands off our moon. A global petition, a global campaign. Call them out on it. I wonder how many signatures it could get. I don't know. To me, it's bothersome. I don't think that these agencies and these groups should be allowed to just take the liberty of doing things like this. It's not their moon. They don't own it. It doesn't belong to anyone, period. And I think that all of this mystery that we still have around it is absolutely shameful and ridiculous when we've given NASA and these space agencies millions of dollars every day. And the best they can give us is CGI and bullshit narratives like, oh, well,
go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
And now you got all of this stuff going on with Artemis and the Boeing Starliner and all these delays and going back to, come on. When is it going to be at a point when the people say, enough is enough. Stop throwing money up there on this thing. Let's help solve some issues down here at ground level, like the food insecurity crisis, where children are going to bed hungry at night. I don't want them mining on our moon. Come on. This is our moon. They don't have any right to go up there doing anything on it or anything with it, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. I'm just curious as to anybody's thoughts on that, on signing a global petition to have them cease and desist any and all plans to mine the moon and instead invest that money, all that millions of freaking dollars, into solving some of the crises that we have going on here at ground level. How about that? I don't know. Anyway, the following clips are from the moon from the other night, from August 13th. And the audio file is going to be, Earth is running out of helium. A treasure on the moon could be our saving grace.
Earth is running out of helium. A treasure on the moon could be our saving grace. As terrestrial supplies dwindle, a startup aims to dig deep into lunar soil. Seattle-based Interloon announced $18 million in startup capital to begin harvesting helium-3 from the moon. The private company hopes to expand its resource mining to additional rare metals found on the moon. Earth has been in a helium shortage since 2010, and the moon has an abundance of the main isotope for helium. Now that helium has become a scarce commodity on Earth, some experts think it may be time to head to the moon to suss some out and bring it back. Seattle-based Interloon recently surprised much of the space community by announcing it has raised $18 million to extract helium-3, the isotope found in helium, from the moon and return it to Earth for government and industry partners. For the first time in history, harvesting natural resources from the moon is technologically and economically feasible. Rob Meyerson, former Blue Origin president and Interloon founder, says in a statement, Interloon is creating the core technologies to extract and process lunar resources responsibly to serve a wide range of customers. It all starts with helium-3. Since the United States government announced a shortage of helium in 2010, the situation hasn't improved. The gas is key in everything from quantum computing and medical imaging to fusion energy and certain national security applications. That helium scarcity is now having an impact on the technological sectors in the U.S., and as a result, Interloon wants to mine helium-3 from the moon and bring it back to Earth to solve the issue. There is a growing demand for helium-3 across burgeoning and potentially massive industries. Alexis Ohanian, co-founder of Reddit and founder of venture firm 776, which led the most recent round of investing in Interloon, said in a statement, "We invested in Interloon because access to the ample cache of helium-3 and other precious natural resources on the moon and beyond will unlock or accelerate technological advancements currently hindered by lack of supply. Helium-3 is just the starting point. Interloon plans to harvest industrial metals, rare earth elements, and event water to support a long-term presence on the moon in a robust in-space economy. Interloon claims it has proprietary technologies that will allow for the excavation and processing of industrial quantities of lunar soil to extract helium-3. The company states that their lunar harvester is smaller, lighter, and requires less power than other industry concepts, making it less expensive to transport to the moon and easier to operate once there. Interloon expects that the current round of funding will complete the design of its first robotic lander mission, which can help show the concentration of resources on the moon. Of course, not only must Interloon prove it can harvest helium-3 on the lunar surface, but it must also devise a way to bring the bounty back to Earth, presuming there's a market for it to make it financially feasible. Helium-3 is the only resource out there that is priced high enough to support going to the moon and bringing it back to Earth, Meyerson told Ars Technica. There are customers that want to buy it today. Meyerson said that he believes the demand for helium not only exists in the computing and medical industries, but as a fuel for fusion reactors that will keep the isotope in high demand well into the future. But first, Interloon must make a first attempt work. That demonstrator mission is loosely scheduled for 2026, piggybacking a NASA commercial lunar services provider mission. Then we want to put a pilot plant in place by 2028, Meyerson said, and by 2030 start to operationalize and return quantities of helium-3 to support the markets on Earth. Tim Newcomb, journalist. Tim Newcomb is a journalist based in the Pacific Northwest. He covers stadiums, sneakers, gear, infrastructure, and more for a variety of publications, including Popular Mechanics. His favorite interviews have included sit-downs with Roger Federer in Switzerland, Kobe Bryant in Los Angeles, and Tinker Hatfield in Portland.